good morning, how are we all doing? General Motorvlogs here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the KTM 790 Duke and it is the first ride and review. I call it that, but it's not really. I've had the bike a week, but welcome to the first ride and review of the new steed of the General Motorvlogs channel, boys and girls. Roll that intro, stick around and we'll have a little bit of a chat about the KTM 790 Duke. Ooh, I remember stopping here once on the MKiii. Ooh, that is one noisy ass tunnel. That's what we're here for today, folks. That. She is the new steed of the JBL Motorvlogs channel. Unfortunately, we didn't say that too long ago about the MT09, but we all know what happened with that. And if you don't, it was stolen. It looks absolutely filthy. In fact, probably on camera it doesn't. It never does on camera. What I've done is I've coated this in XCP, so I haven't chosen ACF this year. And I really like the application process. Spray can, and I know it lasts a lot better than ACF from the Bennett review. So first off, let's have a little chat about how we usually do it. We go through the walk around, we get on the bike, talk about ergonomics, talk about the engine, the dash, all that, and we go for a little ride, have some dinner, and it's over with. So first off then, talk about specs. If you really want to know about specs, I have absolutely no idea about it besides the main ones, so I'll leave them on the screen right now. Engine wise, we're looking at this brand new, I think it's the first ever parallel twin KTM have ever done in the 790, and then they refined it for the 890. So 799cc parallel twin, fires a little bit different though, so it does sound a lot like the KTM Super Duke V-twin. Making 105 horsepower. I'll do that because on dynos it's usually about 93, 95 at the back wheel. Suspension wise, you're looking at a WP front and rear, non-adjustable for both except the rear only preload, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth because the MT09 had full Oatlands rear, fully adjustable, and the KYB front forks. Now we're back to stock, but we'll talk about how well that's set up once we jump on the bike. I'm not running the stock tyres when I did pick this up. There's a few extras on it, so we've got Pirelli Diablo Stradas, which to be honest, they're not terrible, but they're not great. Other additions on the bike, see the tail pack. I did get the KTM Power Parts tail pack, but I've used the Give You one because it's a lot easier to swing your leg over. But we'll use the KTM one when we're on tour. Another one this does have is, it does have the KTM electronic track pack in it, so you can unlock all the bike with the power modes, turn ABS, traction control, wheelie control, have a play around with it all. And then I think it's got an aftermarket chain, I don't know. But the star of the show when it comes to aftermarket parts is this beautiful KTM, well, Akrapovic KTM Power Parts slip-on exhaust. So running the stock headers, stock collector can, and then we've got this beautiful end can, Euro 4, so unfortunately it does have the baffle in, but she still sounds amazing. And a couple mods I've done so far, I've just put some barring mirrors on and the standard phone mount and the GoPro mount. Brakes wise, I probably have to put that up on screen because I really don't know. All I know is the strength of the brakes. But apart from that, walk around wise, that's pretty much it. You know, you've got this beautiful styling which kind of follows through the KTM Duke family from 125, 390 all the way up to the brand new 1290. And personally, it looks fantastic. I've taken the pillion peg off that side. Obviously the stop mirrors are awful, and once that tail tidy goes, this thing looks like a little compact weapon. I absolutely love the look of it. So let's not waste any time, let's jump on her and let's have a little ride, talk a little bit about what I like and what I don't like about this 2019 KTM 790 Duke. So I'm talking into this as well, so you can see straight off the bat it's firing on completely different. Lovely and smooth. I'm going to put this back there and we'll give it a little bit of a rev. What I'm saying about that different firing order, it definitely, and especially when you're riding it, the first thing I found is it sounds exactly like the 1290 the V-twin on it. Just something about the rumble, especially with the Acca as well, but let's get riding. Right then, let's not make the mistake from last time. Let's wipe that. Wipe that. And wipe. Hey, we can see now. Get it started up. Greeted with the lovely ready to race. As always, KTM slogan. And the dash at the minute is in track mode, so it's not the normal dash. Let's just take out that for a second. We'll get into why I'm in track mode in a little bit. So, shows you quite a bit of information if I'm honest with you. Lovely big tachometer, very responsive as well. I found it on the 390 KTM, it was a little bit lagged, but on this it's nice and snappy. I think it's the same dash as the 1290 Super Duke, could be mistaken, the Gen 2 one. Up here you've got your speedometer, what mode you're in, engine temperature, fuel range, trip time. You can all set all these, ambient temperature, time. On the 390 I did have a problem with the time. It used to run quite fast. I think on this it also does run a little bit in front. So obviously you got all your engine lights and stuff. So to start, just a little red button over here. It's not a one-touch start, I don't think, but I don't know. So then up front on your cockpit, what have you got up here? I've got the bar end mirrors on, little end caps for the bar ends. So over this side you've got your high beam, low beam flasher. Then you've got your set, and the dash is an entire video on itself. Quick overview, you can set all your favourites, you've got all your rider modes. At the minute I'm going to shoot into track and I'll explain why in a little sec. And then obviously all about your ABS and stuff. So set, up, down, back. Then you've got your horn, a little bit, I'd rather use that. And then obviously you've got your master cylinder up here, you've got your little bleeding for your brakes. Clutch is not a hydraulic clutch, it's a cable, electronic throttle, so there's no cable with the throttle. So that's pretty much up front. The key is it's normal key, no keyless ignition, and then away we go. So nice click into first. Let's talk about some ergonomics. Bars, nice and wide. Height wise I can pretty much flat foot the bike, maybe tiptoes at a push, 5'5", so it gives you a rough idea of what it could be like if you used to own it yourself. Yep, handlebars nice and wide. Grips are beautiful on these. I do love them over the KTM 390 grips, which were just plastic. And then your feet are just in a lovely position. A little bit back, a little bit neutral, but you're nice and sat up, but complements the frame and the chassis so well. But yeah, reason we're in track mode is you can turn anti-wheelie off in track mode. And obviously you've got that beautiful quick shifter and down blipper on these folks. That's not included with the track pack, I don't think. Standard you get the up shifter, the quick shifter, but if you are to purchase the track pack you do end up getting a down blipper as well. So they are KTM power parts, so they are made for the bike, for aftermarket stuff like Woolwich or anything like that. Now the first thing I want to really speak about is KTM claim that this is the scalpel, like it's super accurate and goes where you want it. And from my first ride on it, even though it doesn't have any sort of suspension that's adjustable, the suspension is set up so well that this bike just goes where you point it. You can go into this corner, downshift into third, bank it in, and it just sits on the road. It just goes where you point it. It's absolutely so accurate. Now with a good set of tyres on in summer, this bike is going to be a weapon. I can just feel it, and I know, now this isn't bragging rights, but I know I'm going to be fast on it this year. Like I really rinsed the MT-07 for what I could do on it, and I really felt like I could ride that to its kind of top end potential on the road. But this thing's just a whole other story. Feel that front end get light. Rarely use the brakes as well. Everyone talks about how wooden the brakes feel, but really the downshifter and the engine braking is just perfect. Yeah, it's a very capable engine, the same as when I rode the Super Duke R. You know, if you want to put this in a low power mode and trundle around like you do, it blobs away and it has the torque to pick you up. But then as soon as you want to drop it down 2 gears, she goes, oh she goes. She wheelies as well. So the rider modes on this then, you've got street, sport, track and rain. Currently in street mode, but I'm in track mode if that makes sense, so I'll explain it a little bit. Look at that view guys, by the way, Home Moss, been up here a lot on the channel, it's gorgeous. So when you enable the bike into track mode, basically the stigma around that is, oh, it's hooligan mode, everything's turned off, let's just go for it. But really I'd like to think of it as a custom mode. You can still keep your ABS, your traction control and everything on, but it just enables you to turn wheelie control off basically. So the thing that I like about the 790 over the MT09 is the fact that you can still turn the wheelie control off but leave the ABS and the traction control on. On the MT09, if you wanted to get a bit spirited, you'd have to pull out the traction control fuse, which would allow you to wheelie it. If not, it would be very abrupt on the throttle and it really wasn't a fun bike to ride in that sort of way. So yeah, you can turn that off, leave everything else on, and then as well in track mode you can choose your throttle response, so you can still keep it on street power response yet turn wheelie control off. So can you see now why I call it like a custom mode instead of a track mode, which is, you know, it is what it is, but it's nice. When you're in track mode as well, it does give you it does have launch control, which I'm yet to try. Unfortunately the weather's not warm enough for me to do it, and I'm a little bit scared. And then it's also got this slip here. I don't know what this means. It's, yeah, how much you can spin the rear wheel up, I'm not sure. So then, outlining what I absolutely love about this bike. Number one, it's very cliche, but the looks are very subjective. I know there's someone on the channel that doesn't like them already. They've made that very clear, but I'm not really mind. Yeah, I absolutely love the looks of it, the colour scheme, that KTM signature orange popping away. The handling is fantastic, the throttle response, the suspension, the TFT and everything, it's all beautiful. And then the things really quickly that I don't like is the side stand is in the position of the side stand is alright. What I don't like about the side stand is there's no external, like, usually there's like a little rod with a ball pin on the end so you can hook it with your boot and swing it out. Not on the 790 Duke, folks. You either kick the shit out of your swing arm, or every now and again you get it right. And then the other thing is the thing that you've probably all noticed on this dash, and that is that when it's cold, my indicator switch is it constantly just flicks on and off. It doesn't actually engage all the way. It only happens when it's cold. Once the bike's warm and it's above like 5 degrees, it stops happening. But I know it's a common issue with these 790s. Ugh. But the quick shifter, folks, is like I thought the MT09s were smooth with it being an inline 3, but the way this firing order goes, it's the blipper and the shifter just don't miss a shift. Even when the chain is cruddy and it's full of salt and it's rusty, it just still kicks in and out of gear. It's fantastic. So we were talking about the suspension. Obviously there's absolutely no adjustment in it besides preload, but even from the reviews I've watched, the suspension's set up really, really well for the road. Might be a different story on track, but the forks are really, really stern. I mean, remember I rode an MT07 for 3 years that had forks like a bouncy castle and managed to get used to that. So we're just coming into some, I say city riding, let's say. We're coming into a town now. And we'll have a little chat about, you know, build quality while we're slowing down. So I've had the MT-07 for I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 years. 2.5 years I think I had the MT-07. No, either, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that Yamaha was built to a price point we all know it fell apart, this, that and the other. And then I had the MT-09. That, straight away when I got that, I protected it from the winter. ACF on the engine bays and the metal, all the galvanised bolts, and then I ceramic coated the painted parts with just some cheaper ceramic. The rider put it through until